Now, many of us use SWIFT to transfer money, and so do North Korean banks, but no longer. Belgium's government has ordered SWIFT, which is based in Brussels, to cut off banks that are under UN sanctions. Around 20 financial institutions in North Korea are connected to SWIFT, and 7 blacklisted banks continue to use the Brussels-based service in recent years. The Belgian government had given SWIFT exemptions to work with sanctioned North Korean banks, but has now reversed that decision. The United Nations says any company trading directly or indirectly with sanctioned North Korean banks is violating UN resolutions. The decision follows North Korea's recent ballistic missile tests, which have been condemned by Belgium and the United Nations. Let's go to Paris now. Our editor-at-large, Craig Capitas, is there for us. Slightly confusing then, Craig. The United Nations had these sanctions going, but SWIFT carried on under the radar doing work with North Korea.
Yeah, cue the James Bond music. This is intrigue of the highest order. There are 9 banks in North Korea that have SWIFT codes. That means they can get and transfer money. 7 of them were supposed to have been blacklisted earlier last year, but only 4 were blacklisted and 3 continued. And then to do deals over SWIFT. And then the UN, in conjunction with the US, woke up and said, whoa, what's going on here? These guys are running a criminal enterprise. And earlier this year, quietly under the radar, these other banks' access to SWIFT were shut down. But we were talking to individuals today who appear to be aware of the secret nature of the background here, and there's at least 1 North Korean bank, we are told, that appears to still be able to deal through SWIFT.
But North Korea's access to the global markets is severely restricted, isn't it? Or isn't it?
Yeah, and is that what they told you, Matthew? Yeah, well, yeah, it is restricted, but what they do is they work through shady operations in Southeast Asia, Africa, and China. Now, 90% of Korea's trade and money comes through China. So this is how they get around the nomenclature of the normal financial transaction market. They work in shadows.
Well, how does North Korea, with or without SWIFT, get around the US law and international sanctions? I mean, how do the North Koreans pull this off?
This is where it gets real interesting. First, they keep their deals real small and work them through Asian banks, which don't have the same due diligence as Western banks. The other thing we're told they do is that the deals that North Korea does with China, Matt, aren't done through banks. They're done through trading companies. So there's no footprint. Cash or goods changes hand. The other thing we're told today by someone who covers this over there, kind of snoops on them, there's a lot of trade paid off in the form of gemstones and antiquities, people walking around with antiques and little sacks of rubies, and there's a lot of money, they claim, that's laundered through casinos in Macau, where people are either paid off or paid in Macau. So and remember, North Korea is a small country. There's only one family. They're the one who's benefiting from this, so they can get away with it.
Now that's going to be a great movie one day. Thank you very much, Craig Capitas in Paris.